Today we have a top 4 ACC matchup. We'll see Louisville host Wake Forest tonight at 5 o'clock Mountain Time. I'm really looking forward to this game. We'll see 15-5 Louisville as they're 8-1 in conference so far. Wake Forest 7-2 in conference, 15-5. Louisville's sitting just slightly above Wake Forest. They have the 3rd spot in the ACC. We see Duke is first, Clemson sitting there in 2nd, and then you have Louisville and Wake Forest. It's a pretty close race. SMU is in 5th, and we saw Louisville actually dominate SMU very recently, scored 98 points, held them to 73 in dominating fashion in the last game. Duke put up a pretty average performance against Wake Forest. I don't know how to look at that. Wake Forest, they're a pretty good team this year. They beat UNC. I don't know what that's worth right now. We'll kind of get into that later in another segment. But Wake Forest is a pretty good team this year. They're hot right now. I think they're going to take this game very personal. They got a lot of guys that can score the basketball. With Louisville, I think they might be one of the best teams right now. In the last like 8 games or so, I think they're one of the hottest teams right now in the country. They're shooting the ball phenomenally. Their defense is crazy right now. This team, ever since ACC play has started, they look like a new team. In they won their last 5 games. They picked up some pretty good wins. Beat Pitt by 4. That's a pretty impressive win. Lost to Kentucky earlier in the year. Lost to Tennessee earlier in the year. Lost to Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Duke. So SEC opponents and Duke are their only losses. Everybody else, they've played extremely well. Good win against West Virginia that I see. I'm really high on West Virginia this year as one of my sleeper teams, so I really respect that win from Louisville. I'm expecting them to come in and absolutely dominate this game. I think Wake Forest might be able to keep it within 5 or so throughout the game. But, yeah, I can see Louisville running away with this game in the end. Right now they have the spread at -8.5 for Louisville, of course. I've been really debating this one today. I cannot lie. This has been a really tough one to think about. I really like this Louisville team. I actually am really high on this Louisville team in the ACC. I think they're right behind Duke. They're a really good team. They're coached really well. Yeah, I gotta take the spread. I think it's going to be a decently close game throughout, probably a 5-6 point game, and I can see Louisville running away with this game in the end. Maybe it's on free throws. I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly how it's going to happen in the end. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I do know Louisville is a dominant basketball team in the ACC. I do know they've been giving teams fits this year, and I know that they got some guys that can score. Rain Smith, the 6'2" senior guard. He's one of the best transfers in the country. He has to be. He dropped 30 last game. He's a knockdown 3-point shooter. Louisville is a well-balanced team. Rain Smith, he's averaging 14.5, along with some other guys who are playing some pretty good basketball. We've seen Hadley come out and really play well in the ACC as a guard. He's averaging 12 right now on the season, 7.6 rebounds. That's something I like to see from a guard, and he's shooting 51.8%, so call it 52%. He's shooting the ball really well. This team rebounds well. So, yeah, I like Louisville. They hustle. They're a better team than Wake Forest. They play 8 or 9 deep, so they have depth. I think they have Wake Forest beat when it comes to the depth on the bench, being able to play 8, 9, possibly 10 guys if you need to. And since the Kentucky loss, Louisville, they've won 9 straight. 9 straight since Kentucky lost. Yeah, if Hunter Salas for Wake doesn't go crazy, I think it's going to be a blowout. If Hunter Salas goes crazy, I think they lose by 9, 10. So, Yeah, I'm gonna take the spread. I really like Louisville in this game. I like them -8.5. So we'll see what happens tonight.